today we're being joined by Sam Pratt, who plays for the South Adelaide SANFLW Football Club. Sam, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Cooper. Good to be here.
No, it's any time. Appreciate you coming on. So tell us a bit about yourself. What kind of got you into footy and what type of player you are?
Growing up, loved watching the AFL. Went to games since I was a little baby. Following Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
Liked kicking the ball, the footy at lunchtime with the boys at school, but never really even gave a second thought to playing footy. It just wasn't a thing when I was a kid. Played knockout for school footy, absolutely loved it. And then a friend reached out and said, "Hey, my friend's looking for some players at a local footy team. You should join." And I was like, "Wow, I didn't even know there was a league." And basically never looked back. When I was about 16. So I was playing netball, basketball till then, and then footy ever since. It's just taken over.
That's good. So how did the opportunity come to join South Adelaide?
I was playing for Christie's Beach in the senior women's team. And one of our coaches became Ryan Skoberg was one of the selection coaching panel at South Adelaide in the first year that I opened up, and he was one of my coaches. So I got the invitation to come out. Yeah.
Very nice. That's good. So how has your time been then so far since you joined the club?
Amazing. The best thing that could have happened to me. So I've been there since year one. So year one was pretty amazing, being part of something almost brand new. It's just had a really it's a club with a really strong culture that we've created the women's program, and it's like a second family to me. It's just and it helps we've been such a successful side as well. It makes playing there just absolutely amazing, but it comes from having such a strong foundation. The coaches put in so much work to us. They believe in us so much, and it makes us believe in ourselves. So it just makes a really fun environment to be in.
That's good.
Yeah, and I'm as a player and as a person being there.
Because obviously you're only 24, and recently throughout the season, Sam, you reached your 50th game in the league side. How big of an honour is that for you to reach that milestone? Because what I feel like a lot of people don't take into account, especially in women's footy, 50 games is a lot, considering the seasons have either been shorter, where the men's obviously you got 20 plus rounds, where in the women's it's hangs around the 14 range, depending on if you make finals or not.
Yeah, it was pretty big honour. Only a few probably had done it before me. There's been a lot more this season, but when you take into account how short our seasons are, so year 1 and 2 we were playing 8 games. I was lucky that I played a few finals campaigns, so that brought up the tally a little bit, but I also did my knee, so I missed a whole year in there as well. So it's actually quite amazing. It's 6 years that women have to play for to reach that many games. So it's a good achievement.
That's good. Obviously the side's done pretty well, but how do you assess your season, Sam, this year so far, heading into a big grand final?
The girls, we've had a great year. We started some of the results probably skewed how we were thinking about our season at the start. But we have come in really strong. We've had a lot of player turnover this year, not more than we expected. But we've really come into our strengths at the moment. Sorry.
You're right.
We're coming together at a really good time, really cohesive as a group. I've probably had a quiet year. I'm a defender, so I'm not up there for heaps of disposals or anything, but I'm just playing my role each week, and it's getting us where we need to be. So the other 21 players on the field.
That's right. Now, I was going to mention this later, but since you mentioned being the defender, and it's not all about disposal, which is very true. And I feel like you defenders don't get enough recognition, Sam, as much as you really should, especially at publicly, at least. Maybe internally you do, but publicly, I feel like if you just go watch AFL and AFLW, they always say the names. It's a midfielder, it's a ruck, it's a forward. The defenders don't get enough recognition, and obviously the mid's got the Brownlow, which we know it's a midfielders award because that's all it is, and then Coleman's obviously for forwards. So do defenders, Sam, need their own individual award as well, in particular at those levels?
That would be pretty cool. I know, thinking watching the Brownlow every year, I'm it'd be really nice to see a spoil of the year or something. For the big backliners. We don't feel like we need the recognition as a backliner. We get a lot of recognition internally. Our teammates and coaches are super supportive of the entire backline. We have some amazing girls in it, who individually are amazing, but then as a group, are really cohesive. At the best and fairest, they actually did recognize our club individually as a backline because we're statistically the strongest in the league. But it would be nice. I don't think a single backliner in any line got a vote during the BNF for the whole league through the whole season. So it would just be cool to see, a little bit. But at the end of the day, that's not really, what matters to us most.
Very true. What would you say as a defender is some of your biggest strengths?
Definitely more of a lockdown. So just annoying the heck out of a player so they don't get the footy. And just pressuring them if they do get anywhere near it.
That's good. So would you be one trying to put on pressure, Sam, where you kind of do you go through some of the players' stats that you're going to know who you're going to match up on and check how they've been going? And if they're in a bit of a lean patch, go, gee, you haven't kicked a goal for a couple of weeks, or gee, you haven't had a kick for a couple of weeks. Are you want to do anything like that, since that's part of your role is to obviously get under their skin, I suppose?
I don't check the stats because players can be super dangerous without having heaps of statistics.
True.
And even if they're not getting goals, they can get lots of assists, which aren't reflecting the stats. But no, I do my research. When I know who I'm matching up on, I will go back and look at how they get the footy. So I'll watch vision more so than stats.
It's very good. How's this week been for you, Sam, so far? Obviously, we're only a few days into the week, but how are you feeling heading into grand final week? Have you starting to feel a little bit different compared to a home and away season week?
Basically, for the last week already. Nothing's changed in my routine. I'm just going about everything normally, but there's definitely extra nerves there. And extra talk from the public and people around the club from the men's program and stuff. So extra nerves, but everything else is the same.
That's good. Obviously, throughout your football journey, Sam, have you ever had any individual awards or premiership success through your time?
I've been quite lucky. So in 2019, I got to play in the South Adelaide flag in our second year.
No. Yeah.
That year, I also that was a huge highlight for me for my career. I also was lucky enough to get most courageous that year, which was lovely, playing in my first year, which is cool. And then the year after, I got coach's award after pretty much doing my knee again the season. That's about it. A local flag.
That's nice. And I always say, Sam, you mentioned there being a local flag. I feel like no matter the level of high, whether it's a high division, a low division, if it's a state league one, if it's a local one, a premiership's a premiership in my eyes. I feel like no matter the division and league, a premiership's a premiership. And quite frankly, whatever league you're in is generally the people with the same ability as you, or thereabouts anyway.
Yeah, definitely. That was while I was playing at Christie's in the Div 2 side, and that was probably my first season playing senior footy. I was still an under 18, but I was lucky enough to get asked to play with them. It was the first year that I started playing as a backline. The coach personally said that will be where you're best, and so it was pretty iconic for me in my development, even outside of having a premiership to go along with it, with such a great group of girls.
So if you were to
most of that team playing at South Adelaide as well.
Oh, that helps. And if you were to use an AFL or AFLW player comparison, Sam, to the type of style of player that you play, who would you say that is?
AFL comparison.
Or when I say comparison, it's not so much as say, I play like I'm the same. I'm good like this player. It's more like the style of player that you play like. Is there a certain lockdown defender that you feel like you try and model your game off in a way?
I don't know who I would be like, but I really would love to be like Cheyenne Hammond. I think she's amazing from Port Adelaide.
Yep.
And because she played at South as well. I think she's an amazing human, and I love the way she goes about her footy.
That's good. Now you mentioned earlier, Sam, about having a knee injury, and obviously that can always.
Lisa Whiteley probably isn't the same type of player as me, but just like the brute like force and strength she goes into footy with. I'd like to probably model myself off of that.
That's good. Now, you mentioned too, Sam, about being through a knee injury, and obviously it's something that no one wants to go through. How did you push through that time of having a knee injury, and for the X amount of time that you're out? How did you cope with it, and did it get easier throughout the way, or was there some hurdles along the way?
It's going back a few years now, back in 2020. I had amazing supports around me. Another girl in our team had done her knee a few weeks earlier, so I wasn't completely alone. So confided in her a lot. We were basically on the way together. The club was amazing. I was still involved with the team for the whole next year, as was the other girl. So just being around the club was super important and made it like it was hard sometimes to be at games. I know you couldn't play, but it was also so much better to be a part of it than to be at home, not involved with it. But it's definitely a roller coaster ride. Like sometimes you feel amazing because you could hop for the first time or run for the first time, but other times it's just, it's challenging. But I think if you go through it, you're a better footballer on the other end for it.
That's right. And I was speaking to your teammate recently, Mooney, who was saying about when she had her own struggles, with an ACL injury, and she said it might sound silly, but it was a good thing to experience in a ways too, that you come back better than ever out of it, because you're stronger, and you're focusing on that a lot more than you may not do when you're not injured. Now, I don't know if you can hear me there. I don't know if that dropped out or not there. It did. That's all right.
I can hear you. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's right. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone there. So Mooney, obviously your teammate who I've just had on recently, was talking about her experience, through an ACL injury, and about how tough it could be, but in a weird way, she said it was a good thing in a way that, it helped build some strength in certain areas, and you can come back out of it a better player, if that makes sense.
Yeah 100%. I completely agree. You learn a lot more about your body, about how to take care of it. You can get use it to get stronger in other parts. I helped with coaching during that year as well, so you just learn to see the game in a different way, on top of your physical ability.
That's right. Who would you say is the toughest opponent you've ever had to match up on at any level, at any time?
Toughest opponent? Shay Hiscock from Norwood is probably the one this year. Last year, Elaine Grigg, who got drafted, that was always a fun match up on her. She's so fast and speedy.
Agreed.
But Shay Hiscock this year she's got the speed, but she's also like quite strong. So you try and like shove her around, and it's challenging.
Yeah, so you mentioned Griggy, who I've had on a few times. I've in fact had her on for a goal kicking challenge twice, and I beat her twice, and I never let her forget that. She wasn't pleased, but it is what it is, and she has to take that mantle unless there's a third try, and then she might win it. But anyway, my point is that what it takes. Obviously she was a top 10 draft pick in this year's draft, as you mentioned, and does it build some confidence in you that kind of what it takes, Sam? If you ever were to make that jump or want to make that jump, what it takes when you're playing alongside and against someone like her or anyone?
Over the years it has been like exciting to come up against AFL players. So like I've versed like Ebony Marinoff before, Stevie Lee, a couple of players, and it is fun to like imagine versing a whole team of players that amazing. Definitely something it would be amazing. It's nice to know that there is some level that we can meet at, but they're unreal, those ones that reach the next level.
That's fair enough. Is leadership, Sam, something you've ever been a part of in a leadership group, or something that you've ever wanted to take on board? Are you more of a off-field type of leader, if need be?
I've been in leadership probably this is my 5th year. Always part of the leadership group. Probably a bit of off-field, a bit of on-field. I like to probably off-field get around the younger players. I've been involved with the junior development program, so bringing them through into the senior program has been really amazing. It helps them their confidence so much coming up when they already know, like they've been exposed to some of us. On-field, I just like to yell a lot, so probably have a bit of voice out there, probably not as much as Tiff King, who you've had earlier. She's, a huge voice on the field. She's amazing. All of our leaders, Jordan Hickey, Bree Clegger, just, a lot of voice from all of them. We're all quite different. But, definitely something I love.
That's good. And, I mean, you need to communicate on the field. You could be the smallest and quietest talker off field, but obviously on a footy field, Sam, like you mentioned, you have to be talkative and you have to be loud. It's in basic communication skills, because if you're quiet, no one might hear you, or think of, like, for example, me playing cricket now, like when you're on the field, you've got to communicate who's chasing the ball. If you're not talking, and you could have confusion everywhere and it could just run to the boundary, you know what I mean? Like, the talk has got to be up.
100% agree. I think everyone in our team and coaching staff would agree with you. Every time we're doing a drill and something isn't perfectly right, we're like, oh, so what needs to improve? Communication. That's always the top thing. Like, it fixes most problems.
That's right, and it can be a nice and easy thing to fix. Now, some teammates' questions, Sam, which I love asking. So, who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at South Adelaide, and they can't get enough of it, and they know what they're doing when the camera's around?
Emily Brockhurst. She's back to the club again this year, just, full of confidence, super loud, super bubbly, has a cracking laugh on her. Just knows what she's doing, loves making TikToks. Always, we have to tell her where she can and can't make them at the club. Always the first to get us to do a selfie after training. Definitely her.
That's fair. You're now the 3 out of 3 to mention Emily in this spot. I knew this was coming, but I had to ask it anyway. You might have surprised me, but that's okay. And there's a reason why. And Tiffy and Mooney have both mentioned the TikTok as well, so there's a trend here. And by the way, it's not a bad thing either.
No, she gets, like, she is good with it. Like, it's nothing bad. It's all quite positive, and it's good vibes, and it gets us out there. So.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what you want. And on the trend of that, who are some teammates you feel that fly under the radar, Sammy, a little bit, that don't get talked about as much as you feel that they should?
But that's probably, we've got a whole team worth of those players. We have had a lot more recognised this year. Like, we had 5 people named in Team of the Year. But ones that go under the radar probably. She didn't get to play, like, she hasn't played all games because she's from Alice Springs. But Caitlin Couch is an absolute workhorse. Every disposal she has, she makes count. She goes so hard at the ball. She's amazing. Beston Ferris last year, runner-up Beston Ferris for us last year, 2nd or 3rd. Okay. She's, but, like, so quiet. She'll get in bests a lot, but, like, outside of the club, probably not super recognised. Lucy Northcott, probably. She's changes her lines a bit. So I know she used to be a defender. She's been in the forward line this year. She's made a bit of a statement. But, like, you see the goals that she does, but all the work she does for other teammates, it does go unrecognised by us internally. But, people probably don't realise how, like, amazing she is for the team.
Now, obviously, Team Photo Day. I think I know where this is going, but again, I'm going to try anyway. Team Photo Day, Sammy. Who's one that, like, kind of, like, has to put the extra effort into getting ready for all these photo days, photo shoots, media appearances, anything? Who's the one that, or a group of people that loves to look $1 million, even if they are already $1 million?
Yeah, so I think you know the answer coming. Emily Brockhurst. Just always, the extra. I mean, don't blame her, and I'm not completely different, but the extra 10, getting the hair done, just making every little bit of hair's in the right place. Got to get the right angle, but it's great. She's not alone in that, though. We all love a bit of tan.
Well, there you go. Are you volunteering yourself in that spot then?
Oh, for photo day, definitely.
Fair enough. Now, all right. Now, while we're on the topic of teammate questions, I might also continue it. So, teammates' hearts may get broken here, and they may love you more and more, Sam, for talking about them in this category. Who's the best chatterbox of the club?
Chatterbox. There's a few. Either probably Mel Anderson or Charlotte Dolan. They just can talk nonstop. Sometimes I don't know what they're talking about. I don't really know why they're so good at it. One's a flight attendant, one's a swimming instructor, so it's not really part of their jobs. But yeah, they're funny ones.
That's interesting. And you know what? I mean, they're the first time I've heard Mel and Co in that conversation, but I had Emily's been brought up every time in that. So you're the first one to not mention her, and that's what she. It's funny. Most of these questions, she's been involved in basically every answer almost, which is interesting and a good thing at the same time. All right, we'll try it again. Loudest and quietest teammates.
Quietest, probably Latonya Cookty-Motlop. She's slowly coming out of her shell, but yeah, probably our quietest. Won't say anything unless you approach first, basically.
Yeah.
Never know she's there on the field. You're like, oh, where'd you come from? Didn't see her there. Loudest, Emily Brockhurst.
That was the answer I was expecting. Right. Now, if you were stuck on a deserted island with teammate Sam, who are you bringing and not bringing, and why?
I'm not bringing Emily Brockhurst. She would drive me crazy.
So I've heard.
Who am I bringing? Probably Lucy Northcott, because she is a military. She's in the army, and I feel like she would know what she's doing. And with her, we'd get ourselves off that island.
Nice and easy. That's exactly what you want. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes to get out of there, because you don't want to be stuck there. All right. So now, nicknames, Sam. Which nicknames do you get at the club that you like or dislike? For
me personally?
Yep.
I go by Spratty, because my last name's Pratt. So yeah, Sprat. One that that's probably my main one. One that I dislike probably is Clemantha. So my full name's Samantha, and one time I shook one of our coach's hands at a presentation, and it was like, "Oh, you good, Clammy Sammy?" And I got called Clemantha, and there's only one or two coaches that call me that, but yeah, it stuck a little bit.
It's fair enough. Now, she's going to hate me for saying this, so I apologise to Tiffany in advance. When I had her on, she was talking about a nickname, right? I think you know where I'm going, Sam, with this one. There's a nickname she didn't like, and it was Tiffy. And there's this wrestler whose name is Tiffany, and her catchphrase is "It's Tiffy time." And Tiffany was saying that she hoped that didn't stick. So if you want to use that, by all means, go ahead. And I don't know if you've seen the part of the clip with her, but I'm going to play it here if you didn't. And literally, just type in Tiffany Stratton, the WWE wrestler. The first 3 words on her current theme song is the catchphrase that's going to give Tiffany nightmares. Now, let me just find it here. I've got it here. Here it is. There, have a listen.
It's Tiffy time.
That's a butcher, right? Take 2.
It's Tiffy time.
So it's Tiffy time is basically what it is. It's a thing I use in a lot of my videos. People think it's cringe at times, but I don't care. I'm a wrestling fan, and it makes sense. And Tiffany's name is Tiffany, and she said to me on her own accord, not me, by saying she doesn't like Tiffy. And the moment she said that, that's the first thing I thought of. So Tiffany, that is.
I know she hates that name. I don't call her that unless I'm trying to get under her skin.
It seems it might work, but sorry, Tiffany. Anyway, but that's that. All right, game day superstitions. Sam, do you have any game day superstitions you do?
No, I just make sure I've got like this same sort of breakfast, dinner routine. I probably tie my shoelaces up like 3 times, but it's not a must have to do thing. But that's about it.
That's all right. It's nice and basic. Sometimes the best way to go about it. Because how do you feel, Sam, for people that have all these type of superstitions? They can be normal, they can be weird, but like X amount of things. And what if one of them can't happen? Like, for example, I know a lot of people say coffee for some reason, but whatever. I'm not a coffee person. But if they say that and they go, "Oh, I have to get it from this shop," or whatever. What if the machine's not working? What if the shop's closed? What if you're late and then you don't have time? Like, how would you go about it then if you're screwing yourself over in that way, or potentially doing it with having set routines like that?
Yeah. Players like to have controllables before the game because there's so much uncontrollable in the game of football. So, but yeah, there are uncontrollables about controllables sometimes. Like you just said, if you need coffee from a certain place and it's closed, it doesn't work. I think it's good to have a routine, but you don't want it to be like in your head deciding if you're going to play good or bad. I remember Holly Eifold, who played for us and moved over to Freo, she had to have like 3 sips of water at every break, like no more, no less.
I actually had Holly on, and it's great to see her and Alyssa Brooke, obviously your fellow teammates as well, or former teammates now, and Brooke Borlow as well. They obviously joined the AFLW ranks, which is great to see. We'll talk to them about them in a second. But yeah, Holly didn't mention about that with the drinking thing, so that's a bit interesting. And on those 3 individually, how proud are you to see them get to their dream playing AFLW this upcoming season?
Absolutely amazing. Like, I've watched the 3 of them grow up over the years. They work so hard to get where they have. Yeah, big proud, like particularly proud of like Holly, who's had to move into state for it. It's huge for her, so brave. But yeah, proud of all the girls.
Now, I'm going to bring this up. Brookie mentioned this. This is something I'll never forget, because I feel like this is something that you'll never really hear. Now, I forget which teams is in which order, but she mentioned to me that so brother or a sister and her go for one team in the AFLW, then go for the opposite in the AFL, and vice versa for the dad and the. So you know where this is. This was one of the first times, or at least publicly, that whoever I've spoken to has mentioned that. How did you girls react to that? Something like that, be barracking for both the sides that hate each other in different leagues as well.
Yeah, I don't know specifically what team she's talking about, but I go for Port Adelaide in the AFL. So obviously I hate Crows. When AFLW came around, there was no Port, there was only Crows. All my friends were going to play for Crows. It was a very confusing time having to support the Crows in the AFL women's. Yeah.
So you like Brookie then? So you were like a bit of both as well?
Now I kind of just go for
Port.
I go for Port, but I go for footy and I go for my teammates.
That makes perfect. That's a good answer. Go for Port and friends, not Port and Adelaide.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a good fun when Brookie mentioned that a few months back, just before the draft, and I had a good laugh at that. That was a good one, and I won't forget that. Now, Mark or Goal of the Year, Sam, which one would you rather do and why?
I've never kicked a goal in SANFL, so...
No, so to be unrealistic as you want here, Sam, which one would you like to do? If the option was there, you can do a Mark of the Year or a Goal of the Year. What one do you want to do? Again, as I said, it can be as unrealistic as you like.
I think Mark of the Year is more significant because there's more marks taken every game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just coming from a backline, a Mark of the Year is just more appealing, I'd say.
That's fair enough. Would you be one? This just kind of includes the same as the next question, but would you be one to post it, Sam? Would you be one to share it if you were to get a Mark of the Year contender or a Goal of the Year contender? Would you be one to post it?
I'd have faith that my friends would post it and tag me so I could reshare it.
Very smart. I was speaking to Mooney before. She says she would absolutely share it, and I have the same belief too, Sam. That I feel like, especially if you're someone that doesn't get these constant highlights or Goal of the Year contenders. I mean, unless your name's Jeremy Howe, I don't think anyone gets Mark of the Year every week. Or if your name's Eddie Betts, no one got Goal of the Year nominations every week. So I feel like it's a good thing to do. And if you mention someone else posted, they're kind of giving you the way to go. Just click the share button, and then we're all good. And you weren't the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I would just, to be honest, I would just do it myself. I wouldn't wait for anyone to do it. I'd be wanting that video the second the game's done and post. Boom. That's just me. The same with Mooney. She said the same thing. All right. So now this again can be as unrealistic as you like. I know you mentioned you haven't kicked a goal at SANFLW level yet, but if you were to kick the best goal you would love to ever get, unrealistic as you like, add in the distance, the angle, the moment, the occasion. Sam, what goal would you love to pull out and when and how?
Probably like one to seal the game or put us in front. Like, sounds absolutely terrifying. But that is ultimately an amazing goal to get. It'd probably have to be like on the run, like streaming down from the wing into the forward line. Yeah, I don't know. picking up like the crumbs from a stoppage or someone's switched it across about 25 minutes out and just slotted it.
Yeah, very nice. That'd be good. Would you have any go-to goal celebrations you'd have in mind? I know you said you haven't kicked one, but have you got a celebration in mind if it ever happens?
Nope, just the standard big smile, big jump, get around the teammates.
Fair enough. Okay. So of goal celebrations then, Sam, that you've seen, is there any that you enjoy the most? Either even if you weren't to do it yourself, that you like seeing others do?
Anywhere they look at the crowd, I think are pretty cool. Just to get the crowd involved, especially at our level, we don't do it a whole lot. And then of course, I don't go for the big flashy ones. I just like it when everyone gets around the team and they say, like, this goal is because of you. Like, it's not one person, it's a whole effort. So, I think team celebrations are the best for me.
Fair enough. So you wouldn't like the Jack Ginnivan shushing the crowd, or there's some where people, run towards the fence and they give them the ear or something like that, or they do that, or they do the cut bit, or anything like that. So you wouldn't be the biggest fan of stuff like that then?
No, I think that stuff belongs up in the AFL, like to get the crowd annoyed, razzed up, but I definitely can't see myself or any of my teammates doing that.
That's fair enough. There was one, I don't know what level this was. I don't even remember who it was and whatever, but there was one where someone kicked a goal. Again, I don't even know the amount of the scores of the game or anything, but there was someone who kicked a good goal and they ran behind the fence, sat on the seat, and then clapped themselves.
That was in the sample. Yeah.
Was it? Okay, there you go.
I almost want to say it was Griggy.
Was it real? No, well, there must have been more because I might remember if Griggy did that because I definitely would have brought that up.
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking about. There was definitely someone in our league that did it. I can't remember who it was. I remember it being a small forward, but not sure.
Yeah. What did you think of that then when someone did that?
Cringe. It's pretty funny though. It was good. It was good.
Especially if they're up. I mean, if they're down, that makes it even more embarrassing or cringe. But Oh well, fair enough. All right. So, is there any coaches' pets at South Adelaide? Is there anyone that coach? How do I word it? Or player that attaches themselves closer to the coach, and you're like, come on, that's too far. And as in, stop sucking up.
Not really. I mean,
no.
Captain Bree is around the coach all the time, like on the phone constantly, but she's our captain, so they'd have a lot of talk.
Exactly.
I think our coach spreads the love pretty well across the team.
No, very nice. That's what you want. All right. Some of your most prized possessions, Sam, that you own.
Of anything?
Of anything, yep. Doesn't have to be football or sport related.
Wow, that's a big question.
Could be a Guernsey, could be a medal, it could be a trophy.
Yeah, I mean my premiership medal. For my 21st birthday, my mum got and she did it secretly without me knowing. She got one of my Guernseys, playing Guernseys, and got the whole team to sign it and frame it for me. Yeah, so that's pretty pretty special. Yeah, that's probably.
No, that's
I have no idea.
That what you just mentioned with this Guernsey, that's a pretty cool way. And you mentioned with your mum seeing it through. I think that makes it probably even more special though, because like you said, you didn't know it was happening. It's like, oh, here you go. Oh, what? You just give me my Guernsey back? No, just have a look, and then and then see what's there. And it's pretty cool. I recently seen someone that I know in the VFLW had their birthday on the weekend, and they actually got the same thing, not with a Guernsey, but like with a big. I don't even know what to call it, but like a big poster, and you got like everyone's written their own message about you and everything. It must be a pretty cool feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is really cool. When I did my knee, like the cheer squad that we have at South, they gave me a little card and they all signed it saying "Get better soon," which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's nice when people do stuff like that.
Absolutely, it definitely is. All right, so what are some fun facts about you, Sam, that people may not know?
Don't know if I have fun facts.
Okay, get rid of the fun component then. Facts about you that people may not know.
I don't have. I've got 6 siblings, I guess.
That does count. Yes, that counts.
It's a fair few. So I've had a pretty noisy upbringing. That's a tough one. I need to have things like this ready.
That's fair. You got one, so that's better than none. Go on.
Fun fact: I'm pretty nerdy, so I love doing puzzles and Lego, which not everyone knows.
Okay. No, very interesting. Any certain puzzles that take you all day?
I've got one I'm working on at the moment that my friend gave me, and every piece is shaped like a different fish, and it's very hard to put together.
Yeah, sounds challenging, for sure. Now, all right, so name 3 famous people, Sam, dead or alive, that you would like to go out to dinner with, or who you would invite.
Travis Boat.
By the power.
Yep. Love him. Heck.
Any other footy players? Any other musicians, sports celebrities, movie celebrities?
Probably like dead, but
yeah.
Oh, can't remember his real name. Chandler Bing.
Okay. I don't know, but yeah, fair enough.
From Friends, but yeah, I cannot for the life of me remember his real name right now.
Yeah, that's something that's fair enough. All right, we'll go with that. That's good enough. All right, so obviously you mentioned, Sam, earlier about being through the knee injuries, and we spoke a little bit about it. But how did you get through that time? Like, how did you mentally get through all that?
It was kind of when COVID was kicking off as well. So it was during 2020. So a lot of people were in isolation at that time. So it wasn't just me.
Yes. That. Yep.
I had uni going on, so that was like a good distraction for me as well. But yeah, I don't know. Just turning up every day was important to gym and rehab.
No, that's good. So in the next 5 years or so, Sam, where do you see yourself as a footballer and just life in general?
I'm starting working as a paramedic in a few months. So that's where I'm going to be for the next few years. I'm going to make football look probably a bit different. But yeah, I still hope I can be as involved as possible. Might just have to swap some night shifts or something to be able to play. Yeah.
True. I was going to say you're just breaking in exclusive right there, potentially last game, but no, you just shut that down. That we can balance this still.
No, I'm definitely not done.
There we go. That's the answer. I'm sure that people wanted to hear. All right. So jumper number. What jumper number do you wear, and is there any particular significance behind the jumper number?
I wear number 22.
Nice.
For the last 6 years, it was just the number that I got given at Christie's. So at local, I wanted a different number and didn't get it, so I ended up with number 1.
Oh yeah,
which is a bit weird. And then when I got to Christie's, number 1 was taken, so I got given number 22, and we won a flag. So it's basically with me.
It's like ever since that's the way to go about it. Any outside of footy interests that you have? Obviously, you mentioned being paramedic, obviously.
Yeah. So that's big part. I enjoy like camping, going away, traveling. Don't get to as much as I'd like to. Obviously, footy contributes to that, but yeah.
Any other sports that you enjoy watching or previously or currently participating in outside of footy?
Yeah, I miss playing netball sometimes. Played netball, for 15 years or something. And basketball as well. Played that for a while. Yeah. I've really got into watching netball and NRL lately. So yeah.
That's very nice. How do you feel the Power have gone in the men's season, Sam, this year? Obviously, it's a bad timing to have someone on that goes to Port after we just played Port on the weekend, and I don't want to talk about that. But how do you feel the Power are going this year?
No comment.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, I've got a few Port fans that I know well. So, Sam, I'm going to ask you this, and obviously you'll be fully aware, because of that comment, I know you know what I'm going in with Ken Hinkley. I feel like the talk surrounded to Ken is a bit over the top in terms of like if you want to feel like he should be sacked or not, it's whatever. But like I feel like I don't know if you were a part of it or if you saw it or heard it. The game, not the Saints game, but the week prior, obviously he got booed heavily when his picture appeared on the screen. How did you feel? First off, how do you feel as Ken as coach? And do you think the chat amongst him from fans is a bit harsh in terms of like how he's being treated from the outside?
I try to not get involved in things that don't concern me. So I have no control over who's coaching Port Adelaide. I don't know Ken personally, so I'm not going to make assumptions on him based on media. I don't know what's true, what's not. So I try not to, make an opinion too much. I try not to get involved in conversations when people are having a go about him. But I don't think he deserves to get booed. I think, that's completely unreasonable. A lot of the booing that goes on in the AFL is not needed at all. But that's sport. It's the AFL. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, like I said, well, I'm not going to carry on too much about it, but yeah, like you said, I mean, if you think it should be sacked, that's whatever. But like the over the top, as you mentioned, the booing at that game, and that was at your home ground too, and that just what makes it more embarrassing. Where 99% of the fan base in Adelaide games are the team with the home game, right? And to be booing a home team coach, it just it's embarrassing from that side of things. But here we are.
Coach, I'd be really upset. So.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Okay, if you could have any superpowers, Sam, what would it be?
I think it'd be cool to fly.
Yes, that'd be a nice one. Then you wouldn't have to pay for anything. You wouldn't have to pay for a bus pass, a train pass, anything to do with a car, flights. If you're flying somewhere, you wouldn't need to pay for anything.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. And I think just be a good view for everything. Get places quickly. I think it'd be good.
Actually, in top of that, you wouldn't have to pay to go to grand finals or anything like that because you can just fly up, so no one can reach you and tell you to get out.
Just sit on the roof.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like that. I'd probably shit myself on there, but anyway. All right. So, now this is the hot topic food questions, Sam, where everyone in Australia gets so worked up over these questions. I don't understand, especially the first one. Now, for context, only 8 people have said the illogical wrong answer for this first food question. Only 13 people have got all 6 questions to how I would answer them. And the lowest score anyone's ever gotten is a bunch of people on 3 out of 6. How do you feel you'll go, and how are you with food?
Well, I'm nervous now. I can be a bit rogue. I have some rogue food opinions.
That's why I asked that, because sometimes those are the type that could sway the questions being dramatically good or dramatically bad. So we'll see how you go here. All right, so the first one, and just please get this right, and I don't really care as much of the others. Chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
It's a palmy.
Thank Christ. You know what, Sam, this is what I say to people. I tell them to spell it. It's with an I, right? And to pronounce it, it's Parmigiana. So anyone that says anything else, number one, it's wrong, and I don't understand these people. And like they get so worked up over it, right? They go, no, it's this because it's just this. And every time I tell them to explain it, they got absolutely nothing. They just say, oh, it just is. It's not.
It's a palmy.
That's right. Right. The second one, pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, fair enough. 1 for 2. That's right. At least you're first, the main one at least. Tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
Fridge.
Fair enough. I don't mind either, so I'll give you the point for that. So 2 for 3. Favorite food?
A chicken schnitzel with hollandaise.
I'll go off. That's 1 for 3. Now, 1 for 4. No, 2 for 4. You just need one more, Sam. Just one more. Food you don't like?
I could say like things that people think I'm crazy for. I could say a normal thing.
Well, that's up to you if you need that point.
I don't like cake.
What cake?
Like most cakes.
Oh no.
I'll have ice cream cake or like poppy seed type, like fruit sort of cakes. But yeah, I don't like milk cake or anything.
You know the saying from one of those Simpsons memes, they say, stop, stop, he's already dead? When you said K, it might have been a good idea that stop, but that's I can't give that. So that's 2 for 3. Okay. Now you 2 out of 5. Sam, we've got one more, and this could be the first person. I'll probably ask these 3 questions to over 120 plus people, and you might be the first to get under 3, and I hope you're not, because I want that trend to never happen. But just keep this nice and basic. Right, we'll try to. Favorite takeaway place? If it's not a particular takeaway place, particular type of takeaway or restaurant, if it's not a takeaway place.
Macca's or Zambi's?
Oh, phew. You said the best one, Macca's. All right, you're safe. Unless this answer to this question is bad. Go to order at Macca's?
So it'd be after a game.
Yep.
I have a medium like McChicken meal, probably with like some nuggets on the side.
Okay, that's a generic answer. You know what? I didn't mind that at first, and then I've gotten off that lately. McChicken, that is. So look, Sam, I'm going to save you. I'm not adding you to be on the wall with nothing on it. You're going to get your name put on there with the honours board being the first one to get under 3, but you're not. That stays blank. So that's good. So good job. Just. I was nervous there. But all right. Okay. So going back to the other questions, celebrity crush.
Tom Holland.
Who's that?
The newest Spider-Man.
So I'm not big into movies. So is that your favorite movie then as well?
No.
No, fair enough. It's just him.
Yep.
Favorite app on your phone, Sam?
I mean, I probably use Snapchat a lot or Instagram.
Fair enough. Not bad. Pretty popular choice, I would say, especially for people around our ages. For sure, that's absolutely the answer I would hear the most. I hear TikTok. You mentioned Emily with TikTok. Are you one of those people? I cannot get around to that. I don't want to get around to that. I've been begged to go on it, and I'm not interested.
No, I don't use TikTok.
No. TikToks is for people that, whatever. Even though clubs, in saying that, all these clubs at AFL, AFLW, and all this are trying to get around it all. I don't understand the appeal, but I know it gets big views and all this stuff. But if you're good enough, you can get that on other platforms. All right. So, are you scared of heights?
I don't have a phobia, but yeah, heights are uncomfortable.
Okay, so they're going back then to the superpower bit with the flying. So it's a bit of an interesting mix then when you think about it.
Yeah, but if I'm flying, I know I'm not going to fall.
Good point. Fair enough.
It's not the height that's uncomfortable, it's falling from the height. Whereas if you can fly, you're not going to fall.
True that. What's the best piece of advice you've gained from coaches or people in general about anything, really?
Best piece of advice. You never regret giving someone a compliment. I think it's pretty good. Like, you can make someone's day so easily, and it'll probably they'll remember it, and it doesn't take any effort. That's
right. I mean, and I've said this to some people off stream, just like even writing the simplest of things, like saying, thanks for that, like you said, you don't know necessarily how important just a simple thank you can mean to someone. Because I'm pulling back the curtain a little bit, sometimes, when you're not feeling your best for whatever reason, someone writing something positive to you or something, to that individual writing might be like, I'm just saying thanks because I just said thanks. But to the other person, it might mean a bit more than you may think. And this is what I say, like with AFL and AFLW players in particular. Like, you watch them, they'll sign something or they'll take a photo of someone at a game, they'll go, it's just one of 100,000 that I have to do. But to that person, no matter the age, really, it can mean a lot more than they think. And I don't think some of them realise that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, a little goes a long way.
For sure, it absolutely does. Now, I've got a few more for you, Sam, so I do really appreciate you coming on. If if your teammates were to describe you, Sam, in a word or a sentence, how would they describe you?
I don't know.
Would it be good? Would it be bad? Would it be in the middle?
Probably in the middle.
Hmm.
Because I'm probably like quite loud in the team,
Yeah.
but also like probably pull people into line like when necessary. So yeah.
That's good. If you actually no. All right, so I'm really choosing which order I do this in. So all right. So obviously you mentioned you got the grand final this week, Sam, for South Adelaide. Just two more questions, so I appreciate you coming on. If you were to say something to your fan base, the cheer squad that you mentioned in the past, with the note they left you when you were injured, what do you want to say to those people that have been there through the rest of the season, or maybe have not been there recently? What's your message to the fan base of South Adelaide?
The ones that have supported us the whole way have been amazing, or at all. Like women's football is new, so any support that we get from anybody is so appreciated. It doesn't go unnoticed by us at all. We can't thank our fans enough for coming. Just getting around women's football in general, fans from any club. Yeah, just thank you for like believing in us.
Now, AFL and AFLW player interactions, Sam. Have you ever had any interactions with AFL or AFLW players as a fan? If so, were there any memorable or forgettable moments?
Not as a fan, but I mean, the players I do personally, I'm kind of a fan of them, so.
Through that. All right, then as a player, has there been any memorable or forgettable moments? You mentioned obviously the three girls have been drafted. Is there anything with them or anyone else that you've had over time?
I just remember like Lisa Whiteley coming back from playing at Crows to train with us at South, and just the energy and wisdom and voice she brings is just amazing. So yeah, I think that's pretty special.
That's good. And then the last one I got for you, Sam, I do approach coming in. What does the South Adelaide Football Club mean to you?
Not sure I can put it into words. It's been a hugely significant part of my life for 6-7 years. I just know that like no matter how I'm feeling after work, or like used to be uni and school, once I like went there and got to the club, I'd feel better when I left. Can go there like happy or sad, and they'll get around me.
Sammy, it's been a pleasure having you on. All the best this weekend against Norwood in the grand final Saturday twilight match. And hopefully it's another premiership in your individual accolades, but another one for the team. And appreciate you coming on, and all the best.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.